right, number 3, teach your children God's purpose for life and how everything we do fits into it. Teach your children God's purpose for life and how everything we do fits into it. And let's go back to Deuteronomy 6, which we already talked about. Hear, O Israel, the Lord your God, the Lord is one, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. But I want us to read verse 6. A lot of times we stop right there. Verse 6, of course we know verse 7 because that's the homeschool, right? You shall teach them diligently, What's verse 6? And these words that I command you today shall be in your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children while you sit in your house and walk by the way and lie down and rise. Right? But where is it first? These words shall be in your heart. So if you are going to be able to explain to your children what the purpose of life is, then you are going to have to know what the purpose of life is. One of the reasons that we're struggling so hard with our children is because we're struggling so hard with ourselves. And we're struggling so hard with God, and we're not really pursuing the life that we know we're called to. And this kid stuff just kind of puts a light on that. Like, man, I'm having a hard time. But you know where the problem is? It's not them. It's right here. It really is. And I've got to grow. I've got to change. And I want my kids to know the purpose of life, but look at me. So what's the purpose? To love God. And Jesus throws in the bonus point. And the second commandment, love your neighbor as yourself. And then he gives us the Great Commission. Make disciples. I just boil it all down. Love God, love people, make disciples. That is the simple purpose and mission of life for every human being. Everything we do is supposed to fit into that. Now, one of the reasons that children do not have motivation is because they don't know why they're doing it. And that's why Daniel kept saying, remember why you're doing what you do. Because if you don't know why, you're going to get off course. That is the number one question in my home. Why? It doesn't matter what it is. Pick that up on the floor. Why? Fold your clothes and put it. Why? Why do I have to do that? I mean, they'll literally ask, like, okay, can somebody please sweep the dining room? We just ate. There's like a layer of food on the ground. Why? Okay, I'm going to answer this. One time, and I just remember this, one time, we had a bug infestation in our house because they were sweeping all the food under the cabinet. And we didn't know it. Finally, we pulled it out. We're like, there's these bugs. We're like, okay, is this okay? Let's think about why. Why is this not okay? And so, but it's way worse when you don't know the answer, right? It's like, okay, it's time to do math. Why? Why do I have to do math? Something about logic, I guess. I don't really know. I think that's what somebody said at the conference. Mom, am I really going to need Algebra 2? No, but I don't know. Why are you asking me this? Just do it, But it's a legitimate question, is it not? Why? And if they don't know why do you expect them to be self-motivated? They're not going to be motivated. And so you know what I've developed, especially since we know the purpose of life is about God, not about human achievement or success, not about by being accepted by others, not by feeling good about myself, not by making a lot of money. We have to redefine success for our kids. So what do? We create a theology of everything. A theology of history, theology of science, theology of mowing the lawn, theology of chores, theology of... In other words, why do we do any of this stuff? And that's been challenging to me. I'm like, I don't know why. And so I go back to... Because these things, I just do them. but I forgot why. Why is it important to do this? And you know what? It's really exciting to kind of get back in touch with real life and go, oh yeah, this is really important. I remember why I do this. This is a way that I can love God. And so, why is history important? For preparing myself to understand God's purpose in my life. You can think through that. Talk through that. Why is science important? Understanding how God created the world and how things work. Is that going to prepare you? Does that have anything to do with fulfilling God's mission for your life? Absolutely. And you just think through those things. Why do I have to do my chores? Why do I have to be nice to people? Right? Do you have a theology of everything that you do? So you want your kids to be self-motivated. Then explain to them what the purpose of life is and how everything we do fits into it. And you know what? That's going to be a chore for you, isn't it? It was for me. It still is for me. Do you know why you do what you do? So we're going to get to grow, right? I mean, if we're going to really get into what we want to produce in our kids, then we get to grow.